Hello, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Her name really is Karen. After relating this experience to an acquaintance, I was informed of this sub and have spent most of the day reading the posts. I'm a first-time poster, but have read the guidelines and will follow them and keep the gist of the story. I was shopping at my local Walmart wearing a Stacey Adams fedora, a black Parish Nation bomber jacket, and orange camo Rocawear jeans. Ergo, I could only be confused for an actual associate of Walmart by a completely delusional individual, which as fate would have it, I encountered. I came across a tiny Mexican woman whose arm was in a sling, struggling to place some items in her cart. Out of human decency, I helped her reach some items and got them in her cart for her. After she thanked me profusely, I headed down the aisle and turned the corner. Proceeding on my merry way, I heard running footsteps coming up behind me, and then someone grabbed the collar of my jacket and yanked very hard. As a side note, I have extensive self-defense training. My first instinct was to immobilize my attacker, but something told me just to break free, go into combat crouch, and ascertain the attacker. I was shocked to see a Caucasian woman close to my age of 58 standing there in what I now know as the classic Karen pose. Arms crossed, feet planted, glaring at me. She was dressed in the best of halfway house clothes and wearing a Fox and Friends baseball cap. Our verbal exchange went like this. K equals Karen, M equals me. Me. Excuse me? Karen. I was there first. Me. Excuse me? Karen. You helped that Mexican woman but walked away and didn't help me. I didn't know you needed help. You didn't ask for any. A competent employee would have seen that I needed help. Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm just shopping like you are. Just come help me. Fine, I'll do what I can. Now, at this point, I know most people would have just told her to F off and gone to get security, which in this Walmart is an actual licensed police officer, but I decided to take the moral high ground and see if I could help her. We went back to the previous aisle, and I saw she had two girls with her, about 10 and 12, who looked mortified. Our next exchange went like this. Okay, what can I help you with? I need you to get the box off the top shelf for me. Me. I can't reach it. And the sign says right there to get an associate to retrieve items from the top shelf. Just go get a ladder, you effing idiot. I told you, I don't work here. I can't go get a ladder. Go get a ladder, you fat, worthless F. I'm 6'2", 265 pounds, and she's now way over any line of respect. Ma'am, I can't get a ladder. For the third time, I don't work here. You helped that Mexican woman. Don't lie to me. I know you work here. You're just too fat and lazy to help a white woman. You must be one of those white-hating social libtards. I'm puzzled as to how you think berating and insulting me is going to make me eager to help you. Just do your effing job and help me, or I'll have you fired for being a white-hating racist who refused to help a white woman. How can you conclude that I'm a white-hating racist when I'm white myself? Call your manager. I'm going to report you and have you fired. Well, since I don't work here, I have neither a walkie-talkie or a manager, but we can go over 3 aisles to electronics. Someone there should be able to contact a manager for you. We started walking over to electronics, and at this junction, I didn't want to flee and have her foaming at the mouth vitriol spew onto any unsuspecting actual Walmart associate. This store has a very diversified staff. We get to electronics, and there are 2 young men of Somali heritage working. She storms up to them and screams at them, "I need a manager now. Do you know how to use that thing?" Pointing at the walkie-talkie. These young men were very calm and very polite and asked her what she needed a manager for. She pointed at me and said, "I want this fat, lazy F fired. He helped a Mexican woman but won't help me. He hates white people." They looked at her, looked at me, looked at each other, and then said in obvious bewilderment, "Ma'am, he doesn't work here." Karen blew a gasket at this point, screaming at the top of her lungs, "Don't lie to me, you're just covering for them. White people can't even get service anymore because of all you effing immigrants. You don't belong in my country. I should just get in my car and get a gun and shoot the 3 of you." I looked over at the 2 actual associates and saw that they had their phones out and had recorded Karen. One was whispering rapidly into the walkie-talkie, then the PA system went wild with people calling for Mr. Green, see Mr. Red in electronics, or something to that effect. I looked down the aisles to the front of the store, and it looked like a wave of yellow vests rolling down the aisles and a police officer in full sprint. Karen is surrounded, still screaming that she wants me fired. The manager says, "I can't fire him. He's a customer." Karen doesn't want to believe him either. To quote her, it's a social libtard conspiracy to kick white people out of Walmart. The two actual associates tell the manager and the police officer that she threatened to go out and get a gun and shoot the three of us. Karen screams that she did no such thing. Associate shows video to the manager and police officer. Karen then says she didn't mean it. Police officer asks me what happened. I give him an abridged version, and her attacking me should be on the CCTV. Officer tells Karen he's heard enough and that she's under arrest and coming with him. She screams at him, "Arresting me for what? Standing up for my rights as a white person?" His response was, "No, for making a terroristic threat, simple assault, disorderly conduct, and disturbing the peace." He took one of her arms and started to handcuff her. She spun around, slapped him, broke free, and tried to run. Her purse was still in the cart, and her granddaughters were standing there horrified, so this escape attempt was as bright as Pickett's charge. So Karen, the manager, the two associates in electronics, and myself all head over to the police headquarters to give statements. I found out her name really was Karen from the police, and the two girls with her were her granddaughters from the same source. All told, she was charged with assault, terroristic threats, resisting arrest, and assaulting a peace officer. She had a competency hearing to see if she could stand trial, but was interred in a state mental hospital until she's capable of being tried. I thought this incident was completely unique until I started reading the posts here. I cannot get my head around what motivates the Karens of this dimension. And our second story. A bit of I don't work here and pro-revenge maybe? So let's start this off by explaining what I do for work. First of all, I work for a school district doing IT. Given the nature of how the job works, I can be doing anything from running wires to cutting metal and all sorts of different types of work. When I'm doing things that would be a bit more dirty, I'll wear normal clothes. This is not too different from what I would normally wear, minus a t-shirt instead of a golf-type shirt. So I'm at Home Depot wearing a pair of tan cargo pants, hiking shoes, and a red t-shirt that says Coca-Cola on the front, as well as my old beat-up hat and a pair of sunglasses on my hat because I was inside. So I'm looking around for some things to do a job in the afternoon, and an old lady asked me for help. I gladly helped her get something off a higher shelf, as well as answered a few questions for her because I knew more about construction than she did, obviously. Really, she just wanted to know some of the best ways to mount some pictures that were a bit more heavy, so I directed her to some proper mounting materials and explained the best way to mount the hangers. Nothing special. So I walked down the aisle because I needed to be in the hardware aisle anyway, looking for some stuff. As I'm crouched down, I have some other things in my hands, and I'm taking things out and putting them back as I look for the proper hardware. It's not like what I'm doing has any sort of set way of doing it, so I'm just trying to go off the fly, figure out what would work best for what I want to accomplish. Another lady walks up right off the bat and rudely starts demanding that I help her. Keep in mind, I in no way look like I work at Home Depot. Me equals me. EB equals the rude lady. MG equals the manager. It's about time I found someone. I need some help. I ignore her since she clearly doesn't sound like she's talking to me. EB grabs my shoulder and pulls me back as I'm crouched down, causing me to fall back. Me, what the F, lady? EB, that's no way to talk to a customer. I should report you to your manager for ignoring me and swearing at me. Me, that would be great if I worked here. Go away. EB, you obviously work here. Get a ladder and... No thanks, I'm good. EB, I'm going to go get me. Loud enough for all those around to hear. No, I will not go to your car and make out with you. I'm not even all that angry. Annoyed maybe, but I get joy in making other people like this uncomfortable. EB, stammering, I didn't... That's not... The manager sees the commotion and walks up. She starts screaming at how unprofessional I am and so forth. I know the manager. We've bought each other drinks at the local VFW. He knows I don't work there. EB, he upped this old B word. Now he won't help me. Manager cuts her off. Ma'am, you are hereby banned from this store. Leave now or you'll be escorted by force of an officer. EB refuses to leave and, as promised, is booted from the store by cops. Fast forward to yesterday, hence this post now. Again, I work in a school district. All subs must come to me to get a temp key fob to get in and out of the building. In she walks into my office. She immediately goes off screaming at me. I seriously don't recognize her at first, then it hits me. I put a nice big grin on my face and act all nicely towards her. I let her know that I have to call the office to confirm her placement. The office hears her screaming over the phone, and I quietly and quickly explain. 2 minutes later, the resource officer rolls up and sees what's going on and escorts her off the property. She has been removed from the list that's pulled from, so she can no longer sub in our district after going into more detail of the situation with my boss and superintendent. He also plans on calling a few other districts to warn them. I'm sure it's for the best. She couldn't be all that mentally stable. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon.